Jenny, no one knows. Jenny and Maya lived in a small, cozy house at the edge of a peaceful village. Their house was surrounded by a large garden filled with all kinds of flowers. The garden was their favorite place to spend time, especially in the mornings when the sun rose high in the sky, casting a warm golden glow over everything. The flowers in the garden, roses, daisies, sunflowers, and violets, swayed gently in the soft breeze, their colors bright against the green grass. Jenny was the older sister. She loved books more than anything else. She would spend hours sitting by the window, reading about faraway places, magical creatures, and amazing adventures. Her dream was to one day visit these lands and see the things she read about in her books. Maya, on the other hand, was full of energy and always looking for new adventures. She loved to explore and never liked sitting still for long. Every day, she would run around the garden, jumping over rocks, chasing butterflies, and climbing trees. She would often call for Jenny to join her, but Jenny usually preferred to stay inside, reading. One warm morning, after a light breakfast, Jenny and Maya decided to go for a walk through the village. The sun was shining brightly, and the air felt fresh and clean. As they walked down the cobblestone path, they greeted the villagers who were going about their daily routines. Some were tending to their gardens, while others were walking to the market. The village felt safe, friendly, and full of life. As they walked, they stopped to listen to an old man who was sitting on a bench, telling stories to a small group of children. His voice was soft, but clear, as he spoke about a river that had once flowed through the village. This river was special, he said. It brought water for crops. It made the flowers bloom, and it made the people happy. But one day, it just disappeared. No one knows where it went. Jenny and Maya listened carefully. Maya's eyes widened with curiosity. A river that disappeared? How could that happen? She asked. The old man smiled gently. It's a mystery, my dear. Some say the river left because people forgot how important it was. Others say it was hidden away for a reason. No one knows for sure. Maya looked at Jenny, her eyes shining with excitement. We should go find the river. What if it's still out there? Jenny thought for a moment. She was curious too, but she knew it wouldn't be easy. You really want to find it? Yes, Maya said, jumping up and down. Let's go right now. Jenny laughed and nodded. All right, Maya. Let's find the lost river. Jenny and Maya rushed back home to pack a small bag. They grabbed some bread, apples, and a bottle of water. They weren't sure how long it would take to find the river, but they knew they needed to be ready for whatever came their way. As they walked out of the house and headed toward the edge of the village, they met an old woman sitting on a bench by the path. She had kind eyes and a gentle smile, and her clothes were simple, made of soft fabric that blended with the colors of the forest behind her. She looked at Jenny and Maya with a knowing expression, as if she had seen many travelers come and go. "Where are you two going?" the woman asked kindly. "We're going to find the lost river," Maya answered excitedly. The old woman smiled softly. "Ah, the river. Many have searched for it, but few have returned. Be careful, children. The forest is full of surprises. If you do find the river, you must remember why it was lost in the first place." Jenny tilted her head, curious. Why was it lost? The woman sighed, a hint of sadness in her voice. The river was forgotten. People stopped caring for each other and forgot the value of kindness. The river disappeared as a reminder, but if you can find it, you may learn something very important. Maya grabbed Jenny's hand. "We'll be careful, we promise." The woman smiled warmly at them. "Then go, and may the path be kind to you." Jenny and Maya entered the forest behind their house, their hearts full of excitement. The forest was thick with tall trees, their branches twisting high into the sky. The ground was covered in soft moss, and the air smelled fresh and earthy. Birds chirped from the trees, and every now and then, a rustle in the bushes would catch their attention. Maya ran ahead, her energy never seeming to fade. She darted between the trees, her laughter ringing out as she discovered new things. "Look at this, Jenny," she called, holding up a bright red mushroom she found growing on the side of a tree. Jenny followed more slowly, taking in the beauty of the forest. She loved nature, but she preferred to take her time and observe everything around her. She noticed how the sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting patterns of light and shadow on the ground. The forest felt peaceful, and there was a sense of magic in the air, though Jenny couldn't quite put her finger on it. "Maya, wait for me," Jenny called. But Maya was already far ahead. Jenny smiled to herself. Her sister's curiosity was endless. After a while, they came to a small wooden bridge. It was old, with vines and flowers growing along its edges. The bridge crossed over a bubbling stream, the water flowing quickly over smooth stones. Maya, always the adventurer, jumped onto the bridge without hesitation and started to run across it. "Be careful, Maya," Jenny warned. But Maya was already halfway across, laughing as she leaped from one side to the other. Jenny crossed the bridge more slowly, checking each step to make sure it was safe. When she reached the other side, she joined Maya, who was already running down the path ahead. "Catch me if you can," Maya shouted over her shoulder. Jenny smiled, shaking her head. "I'll catch you. Don't worry." They continued deeper into the forest, both sisters feeling a sense of excitement about what lay ahead. The journey was just beginning, and they had no idea what wonders or dangers awaited them. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the forest, Jenny and Maya decided it was time to rest. The path had become steeper, and the trees around them were denser, making it harder to see the way ahead. The air was cooler now, and the birds had quieted down, leaving only the sounds of the wind rustling through the leaves. "I'm getting tired," Maya said, her voice a little quieter now. She stopped walking and looked around. "Maybe we should rest here for a bit." Jenny agreed. They found a large tree with a thick trunk and wide branches that provided shade. It seemed like the perfect place to sit and take a break. The two girls sat on the soft grass, munching on their snacks, enjoying the peace and quiet of the forest. As they ate, Jenny noticed something strange. Across the clearing, near another large tree, stood a woman. She was tall and graceful, her long hair flowing in the breeze. Her clothes were simple but elegant, and her eyes sparkled with warmth and kindness. She smiled as she approached the sisters. "Hello, young travelers," the woman said, her voice gentle and welcoming. "What brings you to this part of the forest?" Jenny was a little surprised, but answered politely, "We're looking for the lost river. Have you seen it?" The woman nodded slowly, as though she knew exactly what they were searching for. "Ah, the lost river. It has been hidden for many years," she said, her voice soft but full of meaning. "If you wish to find it, you must follow the stars that guide you in the night." Maya's eyes lit up. "The stars?" she repeated. "How do we follow them?" The woman smiled and stepped closer. "You must trust the path they show you. There is a map of the stars, hidden in the forest. It will lead you to the river, but you must be careful. The journey will not be easy." Jenny looked at the woman, her curiosity growing. "Where can we find this map?" she asked. The woman pointed to the sky. "The stars will guide you," she said. "When the night comes, look up. The map is written in the stars themselves." Jenny and Maya looked at each other, excitement sparking in their eyes. "We'll do it," Maya said, her voice full of determination. The woman smiled. "Very well. But remember, it is not just the river you will find. You will also learn something important about the world and about yourselves." With that, the woman turned and disappeared into the trees as quietly as she had come. Jenny and Maya sat in silence for a moment, both thinking about what the woman had said. "Let's wait for the night," Jenny said finally. "We'll follow the stars." As the last light of day faded away and the sky darkened, Jenny and Maya stood up and dusted off their clothes. They were ready for whatever the night had in store for them. The stars above began to twinkle, brighter than they had ever seen them before. It was as if the whole sky was alive with light, each star shining brightly like a small beacon. Jenny pulled out the map the woman had given them. It was a simple piece of parchment with strange, star-shaped symbols drawn across it. Jenny studied it closely, trying to make sense of the symbols. They looked like a path, one that followed the stars in the sky. Maya stood beside her, her eyes wide with wonder. "Do you think we can really follow this map?" she asked. Jenny nodded. "I think so. The woman said the stars would guide us. We just have to trust them." They began to walk again, this time more slowly and carefully. The forest was different at night. The sounds of the day had faded, and the only noise they could hear was the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. The stars above seemed to get brighter with each step they took. As they walked, they met a few animals. A curious rabbit hopped across their path, stopping to look at them with big, round eyes. A deer stepped out from behind a tree and stared at them for a moment before silently disappearing into the underbrush. Jenny and Maya felt as though the animals were watching over them, guiding them on their journey. The night seemed to be full of magic, and every step they took felt like they were getting closer to something important. Finally, after walking for what felt like hours, they came to a clearing. The moonlight shone down on the forest floor, casting a soft glow over everything. And there, at the edge of the clearing, was the river. It wasn't a big river, but it was beautiful. The water was clear, sparkling in the moonlight as it flowed gently over smooth stones. The sound of the water was calming, like a soft lullaby. Jenny and Maya stood at the edge of the river, both feeling a sense of peace wash over them. "We found it," Jenny said softly, a smile spreading across her face. Maya looked down at the river, her heart full of joy. "It's more beautiful than I ever imagined." Now, from this point, the story will be continued in the next part.